As the co-host this week, our guest is Dr. Jerry Graham. Doctor, welcome back.
Well, it's my pleasure to be back, Terry. I want to thank you for having me.
And I want to say right off the bat here again, my personal apologies for what it's worth over the actions, just no excuse for the actions of Chris Carter recently.
Well, Terry, you don't owe me any apologies. Nobody does. I'm just glad to be back here. I'm glad I'm here at all. I don't want to get too mushy right now, but I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all the people that helped me through my recovery, which still isn't complete, but this far into my recovery. I'd like to thank especially Jean Boone, the nurse that came to my house twice a week for almost 2 months. I'd also like to thank all the doctors, all the other nurses, everybody, my mother and father for moral support for the first time in 15 years in wrestling. Hi, Mom. Okay. And I'm here to watch wrestling with you, Terry, and any insights you may want, in my opinion on this or that, I'd be more than happy to share it with you and the fans.
I want to find out some more of your thoughts about Chris Carter, as unappetizing a subject as that may be to you as the program continues today. But now we get to our opening match. It'll be John Evans, and he has got quite an opponent here in this opening bout, doesn't he?
Well, it's Igor Zatkoff, Mad Russian as they call him. I don't know what he's mad at, but this Zatkoff is tough as nails. He can beat any wrestler at any given time. I mean, he doesn't win them all, but he wins his share. And I'm going to tell you something. I know how to spot talent. This John Evans is a diamond in the rough. What he needs is a few more years' experience, and you're going to see a star in the making. A lot of people might not be able to see that from this match, but I know how to spot talent. And I put Evans as a star of the future.
Certainly an expert opinion there from Dr. Jerry Graham as we take it to ringside now. Igor Zatkoff against John Evans.
Referee ordering the manager, Muhammad Jihad Saad, out of the ring here. Igor Zatkoff getting ready, getting set to go against John Evans. Referee Terry DeMora signals for the bell. Action is underway. Muhammad Jihad Saad at ringside as manager of the Russian Igor Zatkoff. Evans has Zatkoff in a corner, lays in a heavy forearm and a heel across the ring. And sort of into a football stance, but Zatkoff caught him coming in with that boot and now puts several more boots to him, and the Russian is going to town, putting the boots to John Evans. Zatkoff working on an earlier injury, apparently, and fighting away. Being encouraged at ringside by the manager, Muhammad Jihad Saad.
I'll tell you one thing, Terry, if that was Bulldog Don Kent biting you, I think I'd go in for shots the next day.
Yeah, at least. Referee trying to talk some sense into Igor Zatkoff, which is very difficult. The man speaks very little English. Interesting how he communicates with Muhammad Jihad Saad, but maybe through gestures. Boot after boot by the Mad Russian, Igor Zatkoff. You can definitely see the influence of the management of Muhammad Saad on Igor Zatkoff. He's a lot more brutal in his ring actions.
No doubt about that, Terry.
And we see him using those heavy boots to great effect, which we didn't see him use too much in the past.
Now, I'm sure he's given him some of his techniques to confuse and punish his opponents even more than he does already.
Evans caught that knee coming off of the ropes, and Evans is all that had the course here. Saad senses victory.
Number one and also number one. This man here will be dangerous after I get done with him.
What a back from that one. Muhammad Jihad Saad with a little tirade here at ringside. I think indicating that he intends to take Zatkoff all the way to number one. That, of course, puts him on a collision course with the world champion, Scott Rechsteiner.
He's choking him now, Terry.
Right over that center rope. And using the top rope for extra leverage. Now choking him over the bottom rope. Saad yelling encouragement from ringside. And Zatkoff taking a chance here. Risking a disqualification. Zatkoff laying in some heavy blows as the chant of USA goes in, as you can hear. Oh, clothesline.
Boy, Evans is really out of it.
Igor Zatkoff picks him up, takes him to his feet. Zatkoff leaving the ring. Watch now, he'll drop down with that neck right over the top rope. Talk about whiplash. Now Zatkoff is climbing the rope.
Terry?
Going to that top rope, I believe. He comes down. Ooh, ho, ho.
That was brutal.
That'll be it. Evans didn't realize he was close enough. Could have put that boot over the bottom rope and stopped the count, but then maybe again it's a wise thing he didn't.
Yeah.
Let's go to our ring announcer for the official decision. It's not over yet, though. Zatkoff continues to work on John Evans.
Oh, he hit the floor hard, Terry.
Tossed him right out onto the concrete. And a lot of affection being shown in here from the manager, Muhammad Jihad Saad, the man he vows to take to number 1, a Mad Russian, Igor Zatkoff. Well, the tactics of Igor Zatkoff finally did in John Evans, although a good showing from Mr. Evans.
Well, it's experience once again, Terry. You cannot beat that experience. You can't beat it in any sport there is. I mean, the rookies have got to go through a learning process. A lot of people may say, what was Dr. Graham talking about? John Evans, a future star? But I'm talking about 5 or 6 years down the road, and with good coaching, and with a little bit of luck, and assuming he doesn't get injured between here and there by someone with the experience of an Igor Zatkoff.
So keep your eyes on Mr. Evans in the weeks and months to come here on Bruiser Bedlam. Certainly the eyes of the entire professional wrestling world, Doctor, on the mysterious Jason. We'll talk about him and see him in action next on Bruiser Bedlam.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bruiser Bedlam returns to the Hotel Sofitel in beautiful downtown Toledo Sunday night, February the 8th. You can pick up your tickets in advance. They are on sale right now in the lobby of the Hotel Sofitel, at the Miller Country Store on Summit Street, or at all Shed locations. And remember, there is free parking in the Vistula Garage on the corner of Summit and Cherry Streets in downtown Toledo. 8 o'clock is action time, that main event for the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. Scott Rechsteiner got into quite an altercation last time at the Sofitel with the crazy man, Jason, the uncontrollable wild man. And now the two of them will go at it for the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. Also in tag team action, Chris Carter, the Traitor, teams up with the former world champion, the great Wojo. They will take on Action Incorporated, El Bracero, and his tag team partner, Calypso Jim. You will see Cowboy Rex Bodie to meet Bulldog Don Kent. The Golden Lion will be on that program. And two of the young superstars from the WWA and Bruiser Bedlam with me now, Rick Sampson on my left and Dennis Cass. Dennis, you have got Prince Mama Muhammad, one half of the tag team champions. A big test for you.
You're right, Terry, and I'd like to announce something right now. My partner and I, my new partner, we've got an announcement. You're looking at Team USA. I've looked for a long time. I've been in the WWA for about 3 months now, and I've looked all since I've been here for a tag team partner. I found a Rookie of the Year in Rick Sampson. And you know what? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go after the tag team champions, but it's going to be divide and conquer, man. Can you dig it? I got my partner here, and right there on that night at this hotel. Can you dig it, man? I've got Prince Mama Muhammad. That guy is big, man. And you know what? I'm going to buy him an airplane ticket. He's going to be in the air. Can you dig that, Terry?
I can dig it, brother.
Listen to my partner
Rick
now.
Sampson, you and the Polynesian Wild Man.
Hey, the Polynesian Wild Man, you got to look at him. He's a strong individual. He wouldn't be where he's at. But now, when I came to WWA, I had a hard time of it. They gave me the Rookie of the Year. They told me that I, was doing a good
Go
job.
all the way, man, and we're out of time. Good luck to you Sunday, February 8th, Hotel Sofitel.
To say the least with Jason.
Well, this man is a total lunatic. I'd like to say something right now. I've never been in Miss Goody Two-Shoes, and I've injured my share of opponents, and I've gone into the ring with the idea of winning matches. And that's what it's all about. But I would never, in my craziest, wildest days in wrestling, would I ever condone the actions of a man like Jason. And I've said this in other interviews in lieu of being redundant. It was erroneously reported when he first made his showing in the WWA that this was a find of Dr. Jerry Graham's. It was not. The day he charged the ring and attacked Terry Tyler, I was in the hospital watching on television. And I am appalled. I'm telling you, appalled. It has nothing to do with Carter. Carter, I made you. I started you out in professional wrestling. And anything that you do, you owe to me. Whether you want to repay it or not, it's pretty obvious you don't. But bringing a man like Jason into my business, this man is not a wrestler. This man is not an athlete. This man is some sort of a psychotic maniac. And he's dangerous. And I don't care about kicking somebody's teeth in or busting somebody's jaw or breaking a rib, but he's going to seriously injure somebody, Carter, and that person's blood will be on your hands, not that you care. But I'd just like to make that point, Terry, that Jason had nothing to do with me. I did not discover him. He's not a find of mine. If I had not been injured in my accident, I would still not handle a man like Jason in my managerial career.
The man who's going to try to handle him in the ring right now, the man by the name of Farmer Luke. Let's see Jason in action.
We've got this Jason, the man who is, he's not even waiting for the bell. He's gone right ahead and moved in on Farmer Luke. Jason attacking Farmer Luke. And I understand, Sam, that Carter, that you will always have somebody at ringside along with Jason and try to control him.
I think they're going to have to.
Jason's mental...
Look at the size of this man, Sullivan. Look at that. He's 6'9". He weighs almost 300 pounds. He is just awesome, man. He is from the bottom of Camp Crystal Lake. He's been waiting for 25 years for his revenge, and the time is now.
What about his mental state, Chris Carter?
He's as stable as I am.
Oh, well.
Well, I don't want to touch that one.
Well, that answers that question, doesn't it? But as I was mentioning earlier, the reason for someone at ringside is to control Jason. Because once I guess that he gets going, sometimes he just does not know when to stop. And it can literally cause serious injury to an opponent.
I'll tell you one thing, he is definitely...
That's it.
Is that it?
But Jason's not done yet. He got the 3 count. I'm being summoned by Mr. Carter.
Well, this Jason is an awesome figure in the wrestling ring, but the control that Chris Carter has over him is debatable. He just shoved the referee.
Jason, can you control this man or not? Yes, I can. Jason.
Because the man is... Why don't you move in the middle here?
What's the matter? What's the matter?
I understand there have been some very serious problems with this man in the past matches.
There's no serious problems. This is a man of the 80s. This is a man of right now. This is Jason. Jason has been waiting for 25 years for his revenge, and he is out to revenge mankind, Sullivan. So anybody that gets in the ring with Jason had just better look out.
What about all the serious problems that I hear about with this man? The altercations that he's caused.
What are you talking about?
I've heard that his mental state is anything but stable.
Hey, they're stable. Sullivan, I told you before, he's as stable as I am. Look at this man. This man is awesome. Look at how big he is. Look at the size. And look at the man he just destroyed. This is no little wimp right here. Look at the size of this guy. He's holding his stomach. He can't even get up. Go on, get out.
You used a very good word there. You used destroy, and that's some of the things that I've heard about. As he's going back, you better stop him here.
Jason. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Throw him out of there.
I've heard that he has literally destroyed people in the past because he just does not know when to stop.
Sullivan, he does not know when to stop. He'll stay on him until I tell him to stop. Jason!
To control him, for heaven's sakes. He's beaten the man. And I noticed earlier, you said something to Jason, and he appeared just to freeze. He was motionless. Exactly what's that all about?
Because Jason trusts me completely, Sullivan. That is the situation. Jason trusts me. He knows that I am going to take his career right to the top. He is going to be the biggest thing that hit pro wrestling in the last 50 years. You mark my word.
Now, what about the covering on the face?
Don't worry. Don't you even worry about his face. Just don't worry about it, Sullivan. He's wearing that for medical reasons.
Medical reasons?
The man was at the bottom of Camp Crystal Lake for 25 years, Sullivan. Do you want all these people to run out of here in terror?
That's what I've heard. That's what I'm asking about. What is under there?
Just don't worry. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about his face.
And what about that thing he's wearing on his face? That mask? Is that illegal?
Yes, it's legal. The WWA doctors have approved it. They know that he needs this. I'm not going to go into all the medical reasons right now, but everything is legit. This man is awesome, like I said. He's ready for the 80s. He's here now. It's been 25 years.
Well, we tried in vain there to get some kind of a sense out of Chris Carter regarding some specifics about this man, Jason. One thing is for sure, though, I think the guys have got, Carter has his sights set on Scott Rechsteiner, the world champion.
Well, he wants Jason to be champion, that's for sure. And if there's anybody around that could beat Rechsteiner, it probably would be Jason because of his power, his brutality, and his total ruthlessness and the way he relentlessly pursues his opponent. But listen to that interview with Carter afterwards. You know, Carter is really missing the boat. I used to use vocabulary, language, in a psychological ploy to rattle my opponents, to shake them up, to make them think twice about maybe I knew something they didn't. It was all a very planned, laid out psychological actions on my part. Carter is ranting and raving like a maniac. Carter, your psychology has no direction. You've got this lunatic who is going to hurt somebody. I'll grant you that unless he's barred, which incidentally I've never seen any other wrestler in the WWA or ever thought should be barred. But Jason should be barred, and Carter, you shouldn't be barred because I think you should wrestle. You should wrestle Scott Rechsteiner. You should wrestle Cowboy Rex Bodie. You should wrestle Calypso Jim. You I want to keep around, but Jason's got to go.
I agree with you, Doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, much more exciting Bruiser Bedlam wrestling action coming in. Cowboy Rex Bodie's getting saddled up. He's ready to go.
Big man with a big heart. Certainly the fans have all taken to him, and he responds in kind to that. We got the bell. We're going to get some action here. Jesse Lewis, a newcomer to Bruiser Bedlam, and he's certainly got himself one rough and tough opponent in the Cowboy. Nice arm drag by Bodie. Got himself a double wrist lock on Jesse Lewis, whose shoulders are in danger of being pinned here early on in this match. Lewis maneuvers himself out of that.
Bodie has such strong upper body power that he just gets these opponents tangled up, and they have a darn old time getting out of that bulldogging ways of wrestling with the Bodie.
Bodie took Jesse Lewis down with another arm drag. Has the arm bar on Jesse Lewis now. Cowboy Rex Bodie and his horse Prairie Moon. The Cowboys got himself a list, you know, Sam.
Is that right?
Got some names on that list. I don't think it's going to be any great surprise to some of the names that are on that list.
Who might those be, Terry?
Well, I know a Cowboy has himself a very, very strong tag team partner in El Bracero.
Oh, yes.
And they are out after the World Tag Team Championship.
If anybody can accomplish that feat, it's those two men.
And whoever might hold that tag team championship at the time they can obtain the match, they're ready for anybody. And besides that, Cowboy Rex Bodie working his way up in the singles ranks as well.
Yes, he is.
Such a friendly guy, too. You know, it's not at all uncommon to see Cowboy Rex Bodie right out there with the fans before the matches begin, after they're over with, shaking hands, talking to the people.
Very hospitable gentleman.
Yeah,
all the kids love him.
Exactly, and he'll always take the time. And look at him go to work now on Jesse Lewis. He got the Cowboy a little riled up. Irish whip, whoa, right through the rope.
Whoa.
And Jesse Lewis just took a big bump out onto the floor. On the far side of the ring.
Come back in here.
Jesse Lewis may wish he had Prairie Moon to get up on and ride right out of here. The count going in, the count to 8. And Jesse Lewis now back into the ring. And the Cowboys ready for him. Bodie with a whip off the ropes. Over the top he goes. Back body drop.
That took the steam out of Lewis.
As you mentioned, Sam, the Cowboy is such a strong guy, and you'll see him use those power moves to great effect. But he's also a very, very accomplished scientific wrestler.
Yes, he is.
But if there's anything that can get him fired up, it's some of the tactics from people like Chris Carter, Bulldog Don Kent, the great Wojo, and others.
His face turns red, and he just starts going to town when that kind of thing happens.
Yeah, you can always tell. He gets that blood flow, and get that little reddish tint to his face. Then watch out. Jesse Lewis, knee lift, puts the Cowboy down. They lock up again. Arm drag by the Cowboy.
One thing about Bodie, Terry, is he can take the punishment that some of these men dish out with some of their tactics, which aren't very good. But I've seen Bodie take some incredible punishment, get his second wind, and come right back and just go to town.
Yeah, he's got an enormous amount of stamina. Leg drop right across the chest. That'll definitely have its effect on any opponent. Another leg drop. One of the favorite moves. And Jesse Lewis.
I think he wants to come and do some announcing, Terry.
Yeah. Jesse trying to make a strategic retreat there for a moment. Lewis going for a body slam. He's blocked and taken over again in an arm drag by the Cowboy. Into the ropes. Referee will call for the break on this one. Cowboy stands back, clean, according to the rules.
I think Lewis is trying to figure out what he's going to do with the Cowboy, and
yeah, he's been frustrated at every turn so far. Got him low with a fist into the midsection, but Cowboy shows him how it's done. And looks like we're going for a suplex here. Sure is. Beautiful move by the Cowboy. In for the count. We've got 2 and 3. Yes, sir. That's it. Great victory for Cowboy Rex Bodie. I believe we got a 3 count there. I'm almost positive we did.
I'm not sure.
I guess we didn't.
I guess we didn't.
I guess he must have gotten his shoulder up. Double wrist lock by Cowboy Rex Bodie. That's how quickly it can happen, and we've got to give the referee credit for a good call there. I'm sure the shoulder was up before that 3 count went in. Leg drop by the Cowboy.
I don't know how many more of those leg drops he can take.
He's going to collapse his chest here pretty shortly. There's one on the backside.
Crowd's calling for
that
Rex
bulldog.
Bodie's famous bulldog.
Yeah.
I don't think Mr. Lewis wants to see it, but
Cowboy developed that maneuver way down to the ranch in Cut and Shoot, Texas. Big body slam. He could be setting him up for the bulldog here. I'm sure he hears the fans at ringside calling for it. Yep. This big, powerful man who stands 6 feet 5 inches tall.
he sure is taking the starts out of this Lewis. Gary.
Good knee lift on Jesse Lewis by Cowboy Rex Bodie. And Rex looks like he's getting stronger as the match goes on, whereas Jesse Lewis is weakening due to the maneuvers that Bodie has put on him so far in this match. Another knee lift puts Lewis down. And everything's going the Cowboys' way now, Sam.
That looked like a low blow to me, Terry.
That should be an immediate disqualification. That's just a total cheap shot.
That looked rough around the edges. That was tough.
I think that was a foolish move by Jesse Lewis, because you give Cowboy Rex Bodie the time to count to 10 a few times, and you're going to see that temper flare. And look at him. Look at that look on his face. How would you like? He's like an enraged bull now. And Bodie letting fly with a couple of good left forearms.
Oh, he's getting on him now, Terry.
Cowboy Rex Bodie going to town on Jesse Lewis. He scoops him up. Big body slam by the Cowboy. Yeah, Cowboy's just roaring at him. You don't do that to the Cowboy and get away with it.
See how ready he is, Terry? I tell you how ready he is.
Does. You're absolutely right.
He's ready for him now.
A knee lift puts Jesse Lewis on his back, and Jesse Lewis is going to be real, real sorry that he made that move on Cowboy Rex Bodie.
This could be the beginning of the end, Terry.
And he's setting him up for that bulldog, and the people know it.
Here we go.
Yeah, look out.
Here we go.
Oh, just jammed his face into the mat, and that 3 count is definite. Excellent, excellent match from a fine competitor, Cowboy Rex Bodie.
Cowboy Rex Bodie, and certainly I know, Doctor, you've had your share of differences with Cowboy Rex Bodie, but I know that you're a man who respects good talent, and I'm sure you respect the Cowboy.
Well, you hit the nail right on the head. I've never had any great personal like for Cowboy Rex Bodie. He's kind of a hokey, kind of a cowboy type. I've always been more of a big city type of an individual, but I'm here to critique wrestlers today on this show as a non-competitor, as a fan, so to speak. And talking to Matt Genois, I would say that Cowboy Rex Bodie is as tough a wrestler as is in the business today in any promotion.
How about Bodie against Bulldog Don Kent? Your thoughts on that? That's going to be a tough one for you to call there, because I know you have a lot of affection for the Bulldog.
Well, the Bulldog and I were together for a long time, but I'll tell you, if I was Jimmy the Greek sitting out in Las Vegas, I'd say 6-5, you pick him.
Why does the Bulldog continue with these sneak attacks on Cowboy Rex Bodie?
Well, everything is meticulously planned, just like I was talking about earlier, psychology. I think that Don Kent will beat Rex Bodie if they ever do come to wrestle, because Don Kent has got Rex Bodie over the edge. He's been working on his temper. Those sneak attacks is Dr. Graham personified. It is, everything means something. Don Kent has got Bodie's dander up, and he's either going to get Don Kent killed, one or the other. I think it'll get Don Kent a victory, but it's 6-5, you pick him when the bell rings, in my opinion.
What if the Cowboy gets the Bulldog in the Bulldog headlock? Can the Bulldog Don Kent survive that?
Nobody has survived it yet. But if, in fact, the time comes that there's anybody that could kick out in this business of professional wrestling, before the 3 count goes down after a Rex Bodie Bulldog headlock, it would be Bulldog Don Kent.
Something to see, and certainly the challenge is gone. Now Cowboy Rex Bodie just waiting for his chance. We've got more action soon to come on Bruiser Bedlam. And essentially give up for their man. The 2 men in the ring will be going for the World Heavyweight Championship. It'll be Scott Rechsteiner, the champion, against the former champion, a man determined, obsessed with regaining that belt. It'll be Rechsteiner against the great Wojo. And Doctor, we know about the situation between you and Chris Carter, the unfortunate situation in a way of speaking, but what about you and the great Wojo? How do things stand between the 2 of you?
Well, Wojo and I are still very fast friends. He actually didn't want me to stop managing him. I had to convince him of the fact that I can't do him any good. And I told him in the future, when I'm better, when I get back together, negotiate a new deal, that'd be fine. But as of right now, I said, Wojo, if you need any advice, call me. And he's been there. He's visited me regularly as much as his busy schedule on the road would allow. And but he's taking care of himself, and that means some places he's teamed up with Chris Carter, and if Carter is there to try to win a match, he's still a good partner to have in your corner in spite of my personal differences with him. But Wojo, like I said, that was my, and he still is, I say was, I meant it was, is, and will be my ultimate find in my managerial career in wrestling. The man was a 4-time member of the Olympic team. He came to me. I turned him professional right after the 1980 Olympics. We were very successful together, and Dr. Graham and Wojo in many cities around the world are synonymous. And I do foresee the day that Wojo and I will be back together if and when I'm able to produce the way I should. But from now on, Wojo, I'm your biggest fan sitting ringside.
Of course, you achieved the ultimate success with Wojo. You managed him to the World Heavyweight Championship. Subsequently, he lost that to Scott Rechsteiner. We'll see now Wojo's attempt in the flag match to regain the World Championship. Wojo against Scott Rechsteiner.
The fans have lost a lot of respect for. This flag match here is underway for the World Heavyweight Championship. The great Wojo pounding away with those forearms. There's the club on the back of Scott Rechsteiner, the world champion. Keep your eye on the seconds in the corner. The only way that this flag match can end is when one of the seconds waves the white flag, signifying that his man submits, signifying that his man has had enough. There's a boot that catches the former champion, the great Wojo. These 2 have come a long way. We've seen a couple of he caught him with a big clothesline.
I think great Wojo is about 2 inches taller right now after that clothesline, Terry.
I think so. Drop kick by Rechsteiner puts Wojo down.
Look at that strength of Rechsteiner. He can just pick up Wojo like a sack of potatoes.
The great Wojo being taken up for the suplex now, it looks like. There he goes, up and over, and smashed down on his back.
I think he touched the ceiling, Terry.
In for the count. Only a 2 count. In actuality, though, falls do not count in this match, Sam. The only way the match can end is when...
Wave that flag, right?
Yeah, exactly. That means that one or the other has got to... Oh, beautiful move. Sort of a variation of the flying head scissors. Again, falls don't count, so there will be no pin.
Rechsteiner's got so much great technique. Fantastic.
Uh-oh. Well, again, I'm so conditioned to the pinfall thing that...
doesn't count. Not today.
So just imagine this, Sam, as tough as these guys are, one or the other has got to be just literally put away.
That's the fact. And Wojo has given strict instructions to Carter not to wave that flag under any circumstances.
I'm sure that's true, and it's probably true for the reverse side also. Uh-oh, Rechsteiner caught the boots coming in. Wojo famous for those stomping.
Well, he's got to had a good teacher, Dr. Jerry Graham.
Look at this! Wojo's a real man, Sullivan, and don't forget it!
More comments from Chris Carter.
Putting his 2 cents in.
Cowboy Rex Bodie, the second for Scott Rechsteiner there, making sure that Carter doesn't physically interfere in this match.
There's no love lost between Carter and Bodie, that's for sure.
Rechsteiner being choked over that top rope. No disqualifications in this one either.
Literally anything can happen, right, Terry?
That's it. That would include outside interference, too, I would imagine. So
Probably so.
therefore, we've got to make sure that Bodie's got to make sure that he keeps one eye on Carter.
Wojo's on the ropes.
And he's coming up with a sledgehammer to the back of Scott Rechsteiner. Here comes Carter again.
Look at that, Wojo! The former and the new heavyweight champion of the world, Sullivan!
The great Wojo again with a side headlock now on Scott Rechsteiner. The great Wojo, exceptionally vicious during this match. I expected that from him.
He wants this belt right here, Terry.
And I
He'll
think,
do anything to do it.
I imagine, Sam, we'll see the similar tactics from Scott Rechsteiner, too. Now it's not the time for scientific wrestling.
Wojo's got that hair. He's not letting go for anything.
These guys have come a long, long way since... Oh, Carter with the trunks right below you on your screen there. Carter had a handful of trunks, innocently walking away when the referee called him on it.
He plays innocent so well, doesn't he?
He does. That he does. Rechsteiner backed over that top rope. Wojo with a handful of hair. Looks like he's trying to break his neck.
Now he could do it. If anybody could do it, Wojo can do it.
I noticed, Sam, that Chris Carter still wears that Miller jacket. That's got
I'm not real happy with
grate
that.
on you a little bit.
I'm keeping my eyes on that man.
Certainly not exactly the kind of commercial endorsement you want to have, I guess.
No, that's right.
Rechsteiner pounding away, but Wojo again with a tug on the hair. Back to that side headlock. The flag match here.
Rechsteiner's been taking a lot of punishment here. He's got him over the ropes right above us. He's choking him.
Rechsteiner with a hammerlock on Rechsteiner, choking him over the top rope, using the bottom rope as leverage. If you joined us late in this flag match, the only way the bout can be ended is when one of the seconds, both of whom have a flag. The only way it can end is when one of the seconds waves the flag, signifying that their man has had enough.
Now Wojo's dishing it out and in dozens. Rechsteiner's in a lot of pain up here.
Rechsteiner is certainly taking a ton of punishment here from Wojo.
What's he going to do now, Terry?
Oh, shoulder breaker. Wojo's got Rechsteiner in excruciating pain from that one. Trying to shake it off.
You know, Terry, when Wojo starts dishing out that pain, he's got his opponent down. You notice he just get this smile on his face. He loves to dish out that pain.
He's sadistic.
And he wants that belt.
Well, a strategic retreat by Mr. Chris Carter. As Wojo continues his assault on the world heavyweight champion, Scott Rechsteiner. The title is at stake here.
Wojo is so psyched up for this bout, it's pathetic. He's pulling everything out to break Rechsteiner's physical condition and his mental spirit.
Exactly right. There's a
Carter
punch
just gave
by
him a
Chris Carter.
cheap shot.
Well, if his so-called champion is so tough, I don't know why his so-called champion can't win it on his own.
I hear what you're saying, Terry.
Again, Carter interfering.
This referee would take a little less time with Bodie and concentrate on what's happening to Rechsteiner here.
And again.
Here we go again.
Carter. Oh, Carter laid one in on the head of Rechsteiner.
That stunned him.
And here comes Bodie. Bodie's on the run after Chris Carter. Look at Mr. Carter go now. Set an all-time land speed record around the ring. And Wojo now goes to work on the leg.
Look at Wojo. He's just smiling. He loves to dish out the punishment.
Wojo with his toe hold on Rechsteiner now.
What a great team this Rechsteiner and Bodie are together.
Absolutely.
Well, what action we are seeing here in this World Heavyweight Championship match, and we will be back to see the conclusion of the match in just a moment. Must admit, I'm a bit surprised at how strong Rechsteiner has come on over the great Wojo so far.
Well, just keep in mind Dr. Graham's strategy at all times when you get a young kid like Rechsteiner is a lot of times they get excited like that, start out strong, and blow himself up. And he maybe won't have the energy later on in the match. Wojo is an expert at being in top shape and conserving that energy. Economy in motion is Wojo's main forte. And the faster the pace, the better Wojo likes it. And don't always get upset because Wojo looks bad the first 5-6 minutes of the match, because flag surrender match especially has no time limit. They could be in there 2 or 3 hours conceivably.
Mojo's taking an awful lot of punishment, though. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, and you will see it when we return. Obsessed with regaining the belts. It's not enough that Rechsteiner is facing Wojo in this flag match, but he's got to also contend with Chris Carter on the outside.
Well,
Carter constantly interfering.
That's something for Rechsteiner to think about, because he could conceivably have to be contending with Dr. Graham, which is a far more dangerous adversary than Chris Carter, strictly on intelligence quotients. So he did have to contend with Chris Carter, but I think he's in better shape contending with Chris Carter than if I had been managing Wojo that night, because Carter hasn't got the smarts. He's got the intent. He wants Wojo to win very badly. Wojo happened to know, through under-the-table information, had promised Carter a bonus if he'd won. And that's a good incentive for Carter, because Carter was going to make more money that night if Wojo were to win that match. And that was a smart thing, I should say, for Wojo to do, because to offer Carter a bonus, he had his total allegiance. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, but what he didn't have was the Dr. Graham intelligence, something that Carter will never have. No matter how jealous Carter is of what I have done, and no matter what Carter accomplishes in the future, one thing he's going to be short on, he's never going to be able to accomplish the intellectual feats that I have been able to accomplish when I was active. And so maybe Rechsteiner had to contend with Carter, but just look on the bright side. It was the lesser of two evils.
Let's get back to action now and see the conclusion of this World Championship match.
Again, with the flag match, both Bodie and Carter have a flag. The only way the match can end is when one of them waves the flag, signifying that their man has had enough. Wojo picked up off his... Oh, brother, he dropped him right down across his tailbone. Just got to jam that spine right up him. And Scott Rechsteiner going for the abdominal stretch. Carter is ready to come into the ring. Here comes Bodie. Carter going to the top rope.
What's Carter up to, Ferry? What's he going to do?
Carter's in the top rope and drove the
end
point of the flag. Just drove the point of the flag into the back of Rechsteiner. Now, wait a minute. I believe he waved the flag there, Sam.
The ref's putting the hand up of Wojo.
Now, did Carter wave that flag? Is that what happened?
I think that might have what has happened. When he hits Rechsteiner with the flag, it opened up.
It unfurled.
And it unfurled.
And the match continues. But I think the referee has called for the bell. I'm not sure here. Oh! Carter down right into the throat. Yeah, that's what the referee is doing. He is signifying that that flag did wave.
This crowd has gone absolutely berserk. We're not sure of the results here yet, but I think the flag was waved by Carter.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee's decision: when Chris Carter came off the top rope, the flag waved. Therefore, the Wojo has submitted the winner, Scott Rechsteiner.
Well, Chris Carter's master plan seems to have backfired on him.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't agree with that decision, Terry, and I'll tell you why. Because you got to consider intent. And where Carter might have been fine, there was no disqualification in a surrender match, flag surrender match. But
well, the 1987 wrestling season for Superstars opens up on February the 7th in Mount Clemens. Let's take a look at that address. That's Saturday, February the 7th at 7:30 p.m. at Mount Clemens High School. Now, that's located on Cass, just off Gratiot. Sponsors over there for the Mount Clemens High School are the Band Boosters, the Concerned Adults, and Troop 75. Tickets can be purchased in advance by calling 313-468-4137. One of the wrestlers on that card, and there are a lot of stars that night, excuse me, will be Muhammad Jihad Saad. This is a very important bout for Muhammad. He will be taking on Scott Rechsteiner, who is the new WWA champion. And
not for very long. It's about time that some promoter put me against this man, because I'll tell you, to be honest with you, I've been waiting for a title shot for a long, long time, and there's no way that I can lose right now. I might have took wrestling off for a while because of the injury of the leg, but the leg is getting great. My doctors say there's no way I could lose a match for this man like that. You look at me, Rechsteiner. If you think you're a man and you cannot fight, you know what I do for a living? I grab the AK-47 and run down the streets of Beirut and fight the enemies. What do? You sit here and you work out with weights, and you try to show off your muscles, and you take this called stuff, steroids, and you eat that junk stuff. You know something? Look at this. This comes from lifting up the bazookas and fighting in the streets of Lebanon. There's no way I could lose for you. Your days are numbered. Believe me, Rechsteiner, I will be the next WWA champion.
how about something in Arabic?
Well, let me tell you something. My friends, it does not make any difference whether I talk to them in Arabic or English. They love me. Because I tell you, when I go to the Middle East and I wrestle, the people give me a great deal of respect. These people in this country don't know how to respect.
Well, there you have it from Muhammad Saad, a title bout coming up. Be there.
Later tonight, a presidential visit to the restaurant prompts a security check, which Howard can't seem to pass on It's a Living.
This has been a presentation of Bedlam Productions Incorporated in association with Championship Wrestling Incorporated.